Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. This video is about the Audi's engine internal parts damaged. Just want to share with you one of the pistons. Let me just see what number is this. Oh, number 4. So I'll mark it there. So this is a piston number 4. This one has the rings in it, as you see. But look at all these carbs built around on this piston. If you can see all that, that's the bottom of it. Doesn't look as bad, right? The top actually of the piston does not look as bad for 156,000 miles Audi. And you can see over here a little discoloration after for many thousand miles going up and down with it. And then the same thing on this side. This side has a slightly less than the other end. And the other major problem is bearing. See how bearing look like? You can see they start wear real bad. On something like this, either was oil starvation and get contact metal to metal, or somehow metal shavings get created inside the engine and travel together with the motor oil through the oil alleys and end up in between bearings and crankshafts. That's when you most likely will get the low oil pressure warning light, and if you continue driving like that, won't take long, then most likely the bearings will spin out. So I will show you also on a cylinder head. So this is one damage that was on Mustangs, and then second damage, the major damage was inside the cylinder head. So I'm gonna uncover this up and then I'll bring this cylinder head cover closer here, you guys can see. Right over here, you can notice that now camera zoomed in clear. You can see this part over there, that's where the camshaft rolls. And you see all those scratches in there. This is for the exact same reason that I was showing you earlier, what happened to that piston bearings. Then I'm gonna point here also on the actual cylinder head. I'm gonna slide it back up closer, you guys can see. So this is the area that I was pointing out earlier. You see that little tiny hole there? That hole is the oil supply to the camshaft, and that little cut spot is like a little reserve. The oil kind of sits in there all the time to make sure the camshaft doesn't run out of it. But you see obvious scratches in this thing. When you do this with this finger, you don't almost feel it this way, but you can see with the bare eye. Obviously something was going on with this. So in the same area, camshaft is scratched. We'll point that out later. They need to be smooth, just like that. All of them. They should be smooth just like that. So also camshaft has on a cylinder, the piston 3 rocker is damaged, and then also the camshaft, the lower, I think they call that a low RPM high point, whatever, on the camshaft. It's also damaged. So I'll point that out on the video as well, that way you guys can see it. There you go, you can see now how damaged it is. So that the wheel top part, the point of it is not damaged, only the two ends. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to polish that, whatever, but that's a primary damage that I was able to find on this camshaft. And then on this side over here, well, even I roll with the finger, I don't feel it as much, but just slightly I can feel it just slightly. And you can also see that has those little marks on there. So this one, the intake one, is fine. There was nothing, just a little scratches here, but no, not on this point, no damage. So I'm thinking this one might be trash if I can fix it. These things are real expensive. So that's damaging them, and then one of the rockers also was damaged, the one was on that side. So here is a rocker. I don't know if you can see it, but see all those chips on top? See there's all that chipped? Looks like it was pounded with a hammer. That's how it looks like. They're not even scratches. You know, I don't know if camera, there you go. This is how you can see better. So, and over here, see that too? How's that all kind of beat up? So that's one of the rockers that goes inside, and then it's right at the same area. This was at the piston 3. That's where misfiring was of this engine. Anyway, but the camshaft is also damaged. There was damage right under this, above the rocker. This is a older style upper timing chain tensioner. Did it fail or not? I'm not sure. I can't really tell just by looking at it. I would probably have to take it apart and see if anything failed in it mechanically. But even when I press it with my fingers, I can see and feel that the coil moves in and out properly, and it stops at a certain point. Unless it gets loaded by oil pressure inside a car, if leaks the oil somewhere on the side of it, that way it wouldn't keep a pressure on, then you can say it failed. But at this point, just by looking at it, I cannot tell if it failed or not, because the coil still moves in and out smooth, and it stops at a certain point, and that's exactly what it's supposed to do, and that's exactly what the upgraded tensioner does as well. So I'm gonna be replacing it with the upgraded one anyway. Since I'm replacing everything new, I'm gonna be replacing the tensioners as well. So this is one of the chain guides. So this one damage it's right over here. I'm gonna put the camera this way. See, it has this little edge on each side, kind of guides the chain in this area right there, the little groove. Nice and smooth. But then down here, part of that groove, if you see, it's missing. So they broke off and fell down into the timing chain, and timing chain basically grind that down into the tiny pieces and went together with the oil through the oil alleys and land down to the bottom of the oil pan, and that's what I found them at. And now I will explain about the lower timing chain cover. This is the cover that gets damaged by chain being loose inside. Chain was going everywhere and hitting this part of the cover, and then be grinding and shaving this off, and this metal was flying everywhere. Wasn't as much, but it was enough to create a lot of damage to the engine internal parts, like bearings and other parts. So if you see this, what happened, I think all this problem, chain is one which one caused it. Chain stretched it enough that the chain tensioner could not keep it up, and then basically create all this damage. Alright guys, that's about it with the damage inside this engine, what I was able to discover. But if you have any questions, please post them down below. I will answer them as soon as I see them. And I have more videos coming up after this one. It just takes a little time to edit them. But thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.